What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It is one of the worst days in the entire history of the cryptocurrency market. So welcome to another epic live stream where history is going to be set here. Bitcoin currently 14.5% down on the day. Who the hell thought that was a good idea? Anyway, hope you're all doing well. Hope you are managing to survive in this market. I'm not going to mess around. I think it's just important we get the charts up here to sort of dive into what is going on. But this right now, ladies and gentlemen, is absolutely mind-blowingly insane, all right? Someone make it make sense, because I can't make it make sense. Now, we've got a couple of ideas, a couple of theories, yeah. Also, by the way, I'm super pissed at this because I actually had a short trade come in at like up here somewhere. It was like 72,800, and my stop loss hit on market opened as it wicked up, so I lost it. Otherwise, this would have been one of the biggest, most insane trades that I've ever had in my entire life, and I missed it by about $137. So anyway, not that I'm in the slightest bit bitter by it, but anyway, it's fine, right? It's fine. I mean, it's not fine at all. Let's just get it out of our systems. This is really bad, but opportunity favors the brave. We must keep that in mind as we walk through this. So TikTok, I'm going to bring the charts up for you guys as well, just so you can see it. Because, yeah, I mean, technically, you could argue right now that history is in the making. And you don't want to miss the opportunity that sits in right in front of us. That's a 2 toilet roll and 3 flusher kind of dump. I mean, it's definitely something. It's definitely something. It even destroyed my chart price that I thought we were going to head to. This is where I actually was going to set up my 6-figure Bitcoin long trade today. I was on the phone to Vern, and I ended up actually taking it back out because the free fall was so insane. Now, we know that it's a pretty important level though, but look at this. We actually came down into it. We held, bounced back up a little bit, and then zoom straight into Goblin Town. So, yeah, absolutely insane. But if you just listen to some of these particular coins and listen to some of these prices right now. So, Bitcoin's down 13.8%, just under $63,000. XRP, $1.18, absolutely insane. Solana, $78, which is absolutely crazy as well. But it gets worse, by the way. Monad down to 1.7, crazy talk. You've got Ondo, 22 cents right now. Jasmine broke below the 5. That's absolutely crazy. AVAX is disgusting at $8.33. But it gets, like I said, even worse. I'm going to try and make some sense of it tonight. I don't necessarily think there is, by the way. It's just Goblin Town. But Pendle, $1.14. Insane. Say, we were talking about this last night on the TikTok live, down 14. XMR, $300. Monero, absolutely going to Goblin Town. Zcash that we talked about again last night, albeit bouncing very, very slightly on the 1 hour, is descending into chaos. Brett down 20%. Pengu down 18%. Pepe. I mean, Pepe, you wouldn't even be able to afford to buy an ice cream if you invested $1 million into this at summer. It's that bad, by the way. But then it gets even worse, by the way. It gets even worse. If you thought that we got to new lows, well, you can absolutely just consider yourself wrong. Gold down 3.14%, 48. Silver 16.7%. Silver, those that were holding on to the silver hopium getting totally nuked, by the way. And if you thought copper was coming to save you, absolutely not. That one's going to Goblin Town as well. So all definitely not a good sign, all right? Definitely not a good sign. We're going to try and talk a little bit through it. What else have you got that's worth noting here? And this is how you know that this is not normal, okay? As much as I am obviously, I'd like to stay relatively optimistic in these moments. I bought 500 XRP this evening. Nice, Danny. I actually sold some XRP this morning. I had it in Coinbase. I think I said to you guys last night that I wanted to sell everything I had on Coinbase, and it was $1.46. And I thought, this kind of feels like I'm selling this and it's going to go up. Jesus, I wish I'd sold my entire portfolio. But anyway, I'm in S&P 500 for past weeks. Rob, not a bad shout, in fairness. But yeah, let me just give you a couple of snippets as to why I think this is not normal. Doesn't mean that we're going to bounce back next week. I don't want to start this hopium train of being like, oh, it's fine. This is exactly what we want. US treasuries are down as well. Look at the 2-year treasury, by the way, down 2.5. It looks like a fucking meme coin right now. This is absolutely insane. The 10-year treasury also down 1.92%. And the 10-2 split is a disgrace, all right? Now, what's interesting, though, is the balance sheet for the Federal Reserve actually went up by nearly $3 billion. Well, that's interesting. Where it gets even crazier, the Mag 7, you have to just understand this, right? The Mag 7, the Magnificent 7, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Meta, all these top-end companies down by 2.5%, right? Absolutely insane. But look at MicroStrategy, 106. This thing is going to zero. I mean, it's not, but you get my point. Coinbase, 146, down 13.5%. We talked about that as a potential to get back into. And this might start showing you where the problem lies a little bit. And I will get to your comments. I will definitely get to some of your questions in a minute. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're brand new here, by the way, welcome in. Hopefully you all got a toilet roll in the fridge because you're going to need it. Oracle is down 7%. Now, take yourselves back about, man, what would you go back? 8 weeks? And we said, oh, this AI bubble feels a little bit nervous. Watch Oracle. We even talked about the data center delay. OpenAI, $100 million not going to them. Oracle, 7% down, and they just showed their hand, and it's a disaster. AMD down nearly 4% as well, which is also freaking bad news. And to top it all off, if today wasn't the worst day in the cryptocurrency history, Sand is below 8 cents. So think about Craig in all of this. 8 cents on Sand, taking an absolute dumperino. So it is bad news. Caleb, yeah, the crypto crash is real. This is the third worst push down in the market that we've seen. Forget COVID, forget October 10th. This is as bad as it gets, by the way. Chainlink at $8, which is pretty insane, in fairness, if you ask me. So, what the do we do now? That's the big question, isn't it? That's the question we're going to try and answer and try and walk through as well. So, everyone thinks the bottom is so... Well, Phoenix, you're probably true. Given that, I mean, if you look at my chart here, this is where I was looking to open the six-figure trade long on BTC that we want to do for this cycle over the course of the next couple of years. Priced it in, know exactly where I'm at, leverage and margin, all the rest of it. But actually, the dump was so aggressive. I was like, man, this is insane. Like, we could get a better entry here with way bigger potential upsides. Now, it's worth noting, by the way, we are coming back up. But what you've got here right now is max fear in the market. 12. It's almost not even worth the paper it's written on to have a max fear. But remember, Warren Buffett did tell us whenever the markets are in maximum fear, this is your opportunity and should be the moment that you are looking at the markets. Now, would it be sensible to start aping all of your stablecoin into this market right now? No, that'd be crazy talk. We need to see what happens. You have to note here, though, this is not a good midterm look. And if you watched Scott Bessent, by the way, in his Senate hearing committee today, you can kind of get a sentiment of frustration that sits within the Trump administration on this. But it is obviously bad news. Now, again, we touched on this yesterday, and I think it's always worth noting where is the selling pressure coming from. And remember, we dived in to a little bit on some of the wallets yesterday that we were looking at. And the same, by the way, is said to be today. So who is actually selling this market? And the answer is, well, it's the same people that always sell it, and it's always the people that freak out the most. It is the people with the least sell the quickest. And actually, it is not getting any better. Here you go. Look, this is exactly what we were talking about yesterday. And then another massive outflow day here versus those with larger bags. Again, don't believe me. We looked at this exactly yesterday. These charts, you can see here, look, even if you take today and you take over the sort of the last 4 days, we actually see accumulation when we look at the whale wallet. So we look at big wallets. Even, today, 16.276 Bitcoin has been added to wallets that already hold significant amounts. That could be exchanges, whales, whatever it is, right? So you kind of then get into this world of going, so what the hell is actually going on? And we're going to try and get into why and what. And for all those people that are saying, look, this is going to get way worse, then we'll try and answer why that is as well, because it is about to get a lot worse. All right? So if you haven't already hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Remember, we are here 6 days a week trying to bring you the absolute alpha. I did, like I said, miss out on this short trade earlier on. If you want to get access to that, by the way, the premium Discord is your place to do it. Grab a channel membership here live on YouTube. It's going to cost you about $6.50 a month. Totally worth it. We got VC opportunities. We've got trade guides. Don't forget, we just recently released our fully learn to trade guides, charts to use, how to trade the 20-day EMA, trading strategies, and trading indicators. You get it for free if you just sign in to the premium Discord, $6.50. Absolutely a very much worthwhile note. So we'll come back to Bitcoin right now because at the minute it's in total free fall. A bit, admittedly, it looks like we've stabilized marginally. We'll see whether we get back into this range. Now, if you were to say to me, 2Bit, what would you want to happen? Well, if BTC gets back into this range here, then we're kind of in line with what I expected was going to happen, which could therefore be pretty interesting as this kind of plays out. All right. Oh my God, XRP. Yeah. What's the target BTC? Well, my target was this range right now. At the minute, it's definitely potentially going to go lower. But you have to now come out onto these bigger time frames to really understand what you've got. So let's say, for example, we take the Fibonacci from top to bottom. You can start pricing in some pretty aggressive moves. If you remember, let me just make this a little bit better, actually. Let me make this a little bit better. Kind of gives us a bit more of a vibe. So if you remember, we sort of said, look, the 618 Fibonacci is potentially the low end, 58,000 here on the weekly candles. We also had, whatever that line is, what is happening with my charts here? Anyone? Something's breaking. Something has broken. So we said here, didn't we, around the 618 Fibonacci, whether we get that all the way down or not. Also, you can see then that we sort of priced in the middle, this key area of volume range. Well, look, I'm still probably pricing a low end. So where do I think short-term potential bounce could look and could come from on a higher time frame? 58,564 would be where I'd be looking at as a potential bounce from where we are, if this market continues to push down like it is doing, all right? So we'll see. Equally, like we said, we could end up bouncing back into this volume range that I've been talking about for a while, actually. So where is oh, that's annoying. Where is that indicator? VP what is it? VPVR. Is that it? I don't think this is it, though. I feel like I had an image. Where's my volume profile gone? Ah, it's so annoying. Why the hell happened to that? I don't think this is the right one, though. I don't think it's the right one. Anyway, only good news is that 6-7 is getting replaced by 0-0. Yeah, no, tell me about it. Make that shirt look like it's pumping. We're trying. We are trying our best. Come on, time to a bit. I'm trying to give you some sort of sentiment of hopium here, but there isn't a lot, all right? The only thing to think about it would be this way, is that the hopium is, well, the opportunity sits between us, and it's a global problem, all right? Global problem. For example, the UK kept their rates similar to where we've been. So yeah, worth noting, all right? Worth noting. Weekly FVG, 7th October 21st. Kitty not selling. Well, that's it. Cool cat, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Screw them. I'd rather zero than sell anything now. Magic. Yeah, I love how that ends up being the flip on so many people. Vince says so much winning, so much more to come. Exactly. So, yeah. Don't forget, like I say, hit the like button. We've got like 125 people in here right now. TikTok, we're up nearly 60, 70 people. We've got like 200 people watching right now. So shout out to everybody tuned in. So that's where I would give you some price predictions. Well, let's take a quick look to flip it to the other side and say, well, where is our sentiment right now? Let's go short term, okay? So is this the bottom? Does this define us as the bottom potentially? We are in that kind of space of really, really price discovery at the downside. So what are the things we've got to think about? Well, stochastic RSI is hugely oversold, all right? So it tells us that, generally speaking, this could be a bounce. But look here. This bounce here aligned to this stochastic RSI retrace. And what did we get? We didn't get a lot. So if you think about the bottom of here to the top, we got about 2.5% move. So you'd argue if we did something similar and we said, okay, well, let's see if we get a 2.5% move, we might get this bounce back to around 64.5K, the relief rally that comes in. But I wouldn't hold your horses. As you can see, wherever stochastic RSI is headed up above 75, we then see a coincide dump to the downside. So short term, as I've been saying now for a while, I still feel reasonably bearish here. 30 minutes probably the same as well. Just an absolute free fall, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. And as you sort of work your way up the time frames, here's the hourly chart. I'm definitely looking at 65K. Expect some price volatility at this range. We did nail this though. As much as people might say, well, hold on a minute, it's gone through it. Look at the volatility within this range. Like, we nailed that price action. So again, we'll see. This for me still sits as a very, very important price level. And I do think that, you know, BTC at 14% oversold on the day is a pretty insane number, given, you know, you've got people like Tom Lee, Michael Saylor. Like, I still think Saylor buys this weekend. That's just my prediction. But anyway, so I think back into this range is going to be super, super important. All right. So they're the charts. We'll double back on some of these charts because I think it's important that we understand why, because we can analyze these charts to death. We really can. The answer is right now, you can't really do anything because you're in total and utter free fall. And you can see here, look, so we touched on this yesterday, the 200 EMA, we broke the 200 EMA. You could argue, where did the M pattern start? Well, we're pretty much below that as well. So if you remember, we discussed this particular M pattern here, which again is broke down for this key support level as well. So the M pattern has gone as well. So yeah, it's pretty bad news. The only thing you could have maybe is the monthly candle, which I think we discussed this yesterday, didn't we? Which is, probably, time to note, but this play out here from 2021 is pretty much on the money here pretty much on the money here from exactly how we've played out right now within this range as well. So we know that, historically from the all-time high, we come down. We have actually broke below this range of 68,000, which historically his price doesn't normally go below the low of the previous high, but we have. His story, as always, did. Now, again, you go back to 2017, and we did break a little bit lower in there. What's insane about this is the violence that's moved down there, how quickly we got to this point. And I guess at the minute, it doesn't look like it's slowing down. But I still think, though, and as much as we can sit here and soul call, we can try and take some opportunities out there, it still doesn't feel quite the same as a bear market. It's too aggressive for it to be anything like a normal one. Seems like God got tired and hit the reset button. Everyone should be... I mean, Vincent, there's a big argument now that this is the global financial reset and that Epstein somehow is dumping this market. I don't know if that's true or not, but anyway. Just pull the hour fib and relax. We're going to crush it. I think so, Tim, as well. Do I need to work out fire first or is order not important? Do I need to work out fire first? I don't know what you mean. Bottomless trousers time. 37, what's going on, bud? Welcome in. Welcome in. The future is Pokemon cards and Beanie Babies. I mean, it might be now, Stu. It might be now, given where we are, but okay. So let's try and understand what it is. And it starts down here, and it starts what we've been talking about. So the Oracle unwind. As you can see, Oracle now 136. It's bad news, people, right? This is not them. It's an advert for Pepperstone. So Oracle stock has now dropped 5% as a $20 billion share sale plan lands and bond debt closes. Oracle might go bust, which is absolutely insane when you think about it. Remember, Oracle is not a small company. We looked at this before. So there's the balance sheet of Oracle, currently sitting with over $168 million in total assets, where you've got their total non-current assets 143. Like, their balance sheet is pretty interesting. Here's the shitstorm. Negative 46,343,000 in net tangible assets. Like, they're so far in debt, it's almost insane. Working capital, negative 8 million. Absolutely wild. Their whole balance sheet is fucked. And net debt, look how crazy the debt is. This is, by the way, 31st of May, 2025. It's way worse than this now. It's probably like 150 million or something right now, but 81.782. Their total debt of $100 million is pretty crazy, if you ask me, right? And it gets way worse than that, right? Accumulated depreciation, which is negative $16 million, essentially every single year without them even doing anything. Their company valuation is going down $16 million. So there is loads. Here's something else to think about. Long-term debt, $100 million. Like, get out of here with how much that is. That's absolutely ridiculous. Oracle with over $100 million of long-term debt while they spend enormous amounts of money on CapEx is definitely bad news as well. And this is why we're seeing this kind of real big problem, okay? So this is definitely why you're seeing Oracle, and all they're doing, by the way, all they're doing is screwing their investors. So they're selling shares. Who else do we know that sells shares to raise capital, but instead of putting it into CapEx and infrastructure to build AI data centers, they are buying Bitcoin? Strategy, okay? Exactly the same narrative, but it's crazy. These steps tied to Oracle's larger 2026 funding effort driven by significant cloud infrastructure investments. I've been saying the AI bubble is close to bursting for a while now. If you remember, we discussed this about 3 months ago, and we said that the AI bubble is definitely something that we're not going to be able to avoid. And it does look like it's now falling to pieces. So what do we need? We need a shit ton of money to come in from NVIDIA. We need China to accept them H100 chips. That basically means that there's loads of more money going to come in. Trump's going to have to do something. As much as he doesn't want to, he is going to have to do something. He's having to stimulate this market. What that looks like, I've no idea. My guess is he'll expedite the payments to people quicker. I think you get that sooner. I think there'll be some sort of AI investment into the US. So maybe it's from India, maybe it's from Dubai as an example, or the UAE. There'll be something like $3 trillion worth of investment into the AI narrative. But this is crazy, by the way. The AI-linked infrastructure trades also caught in a jittery market. Investors have shown little patience for anything that suggests ongoing capital requirements. So basically what it's saying here is that people or investors in Oracle are like, you need to show us what you're doing here. All right, you want, $200 billion to go build some infrastructure. Well, hold on a minute. You got $100 million of negative debt that's depreciating at $16 million every quarter. Like, get to right? We're not putting any more money in this. It's like a massive Ponzi. Shareholder equity, just to give you an idea, by the way, $20.4 million, which is, again, kind of pretty crazy if you ask me, but kind of gives you just an idea of where Oracle is. So you could say, well, all right, maybe that's, maybe it's Oracle, all right? Maybe it's Oracle. Maybe it's them that's the problem. And actually, we need to not worry about it. It's one thing. It's not the worst. But it's not. This is the problem, everybody. This is the problem because AMD's absolutely shit the bed as well. AMD stock plunged 15% as Anthropic jitters hit the AI chips and software. China don't want these chips. They've already gone and built some new chips, right? But the latest tools are sparking renewed concerns about how quickly AI could uptrend software pricing. The software market has gone boom, all right? Which is kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. But this AI narrative, it's bad news. And you can take a look here. Some of the biggest software companies, well, look at Microsoft. It's down 5%. Remember, their earnings were terrible. Did we look at, I can't remember if we looked at that actually. Let me see. Microsoft earnings. One time says, Phoenix, you sell all your crypto then. Phoenix says one time when everyone says that the bottom is close, that means it is. Well, maybe. Right. Let me see if I can just show you this really, really quickly. Oh, that's annoying. That's not what I needed. I was going to try and bring up the Microsoft. Basically, oh, here we go. This might tell us a little bit more. So if you remember, we were discussing Microsoft earnings as well, right? So Microsoft had a bad earnings report. And why? Because they've dumped a whole lot of money into OpenAI, which they reckon is going to IPO for some sort of insane number. But anyway, the year is looking not better for Microsoft stock, down 17% for the year in absolute terms of stock, which peaked at 555 last year, is now close to 400, and its market cap is around 3 trillion. Microsoft woes intensifies as the company released its earnings December quarter, while the company beat on headline numbers. This was the insane thing. Like, the actual top line number was pretty good. Like 4.14 on earnings per share, 81.3 billion in revenue. They have a load of money set with OpenAI that they don't think is going to get back, which is, again, kind of crazy if you ask me. So you can see there, look, the 350 eroded in market cap, and then down here, I can't remember exactly what they've dumped into it, but it's an absolute shit ton. Here, look, AI spending spree. So, and it was a capex of 37.5 billion in the quarter. Loads of that's OpenAI, by the way. So you've got loads of money going into OpenAI. You've got this whole AI bubble that's now completely fallen to pieces. All of these top-end, software market cap companies have totally shit the bed and are basically going to zero. And, look at Palantir, by the way. This thing was going absolutely insane. So this is a way bigger problem than the crypto market. Crypto market is just the sensitive side of it. It's like, It's like the chicken that you haven't patted yet. You've nicked its eggs, but you've not really said, well done. It's literally just taken an absolute dump, and it's pissed off that you're putting loads of money into the AI infrastructure and no one's buying frigging Bitcoin. So now everyone's going to panic, sell risk assets, and go and try and buy the bottoms on these AI stocks. The problem is the AI bubble, as with silver and gold, which again, we talked about this about 2 months ago, is way bigger than the crypto market. So we've got a lot worth to go. Yeah. Double bottom at 115, please. I know, Mark. I know. What's going on, buddy? I'm already a subscriber, but the Discord is asking me to pay again. What? I'm already a subscriber, but the Discord, it shouldn't. No. The Discord won't be asking you to pay again. What are you talking about? Have you had like a DM or something? I can see you in the Discord, in the premium Discord. It's up to me. What's your thoughts on XRP at the moment? It's going to Goblin Town. That's my thoughts on it. Let me just check. Hi, Shanna. Where are you? Did you leave and try and come back in? Did you leave the Discord? I can't see your name. Did you leave and come back in? That's the big question. Maybe you did. Oh, you never joined. Oh, right. You need to tell me what you need to join the Discord. You need to get in the Discord. I thought you did. All right, get in the Discord. If you don't need to pay for the Discord, you just need to join it. It's free. It's totally free to join the Discord, especially with you. You're a premium channel member. As you're green, you got the channel membership here, so you get the access to it free. You just need to join it. So make sure you join. Let me know your username, and I'll give you access to it all. Some tech companies missed earnings today too. Definitely contributes. Absolutely, yeah. And again, people are going to go and try and buy the dip, and I think this is where people are going to end up dumping more crypto, right? That's just a fact. Why are you going to hold, let's say, for example, why are you going to hold Algorand when I can go and buy Microsoft that's like 8% down from where it was, and I'm going to earn $4 on my earning per share? Like, no one's going to do it. So this is definitely why you've got it. AMD, bad news. Is that you? Xpon Trading, is that you? Just join the Discord. Could someone, one of the moderators, I don't know if you can you just post the Discord link in the chat? Tim, I don't know if you could do it. That'd be great. Just take it from the description, if that'd be good. What percentage of BTC holders are still profitable? Not many. Not many, if I'm honest. Yeah, we'll get the link in here, and then if you just join the Discord, I'll fast track you through it. But yeah, if one of the mods can post the Discord link in here, that'd be great. So given the fact we now have this massive sell-off in Oracle, we've got this massive sell-off in commodities, because everyone hates investing right now, which is kind of wild. Gold, we said, didn't we? This is coming down. Silver, we've done exactly the same as well. So this is kind of where this is all playing out for, and where it's getting significantly painful. You also know that it's even getting worse in the sentiment that we have. All right, I see you just joined. I see you. There you are. Right, let me rolls. There you go. Right, you got access to it all. So if you look at, if you now look, you'll see the VIP members section where you have chart requests, trade signals, VC opportunities, our learn to trade guides, and everything else. So yeah, you should have access to it all now. Shannon, you don't need to pay for anything. Like, you're fine. You're in. You are in. If you weren't in crypto in 2016, you're way too late. Now you're exit liquidity. Well, I mean, that's not true. Think about it. We were talking about this last night on the TikTok live. Ethereum did, a 4x. XRP did a 10x. Like, coins did well. The problem we've got is this has just been so quick. And you have a diverse investment strategy, which loads of people have gone into AI. Loads of people have gone into commodities. Like, it is literally, we should have known that this was going to be one of those themes when Bitcoin pumped to a brand new all-time high pre-halving. That's never happened before. So anyway, that kind of gives you an idea as to kind of some of the stuff that's going on, and more importantly, why this market's selling off. At the minute, though, that's not what people care about. People care about, should I sell? Should I buy? What is going on? And where do I position myself? I'm going to try and talk about that in just a minute. We've also got, and I touched on this yesterday, that that's not what I need. I touched on this yesterday that max fear was going to enter the market. Now, this isn't technically a bottom signal, but it is interesting, right? The Trump family, or the World of Bit Financial, also sold $11.7 million of Bitcoin. Now, if you go and look over here, people are like, oh, even Trump's selling, like he's out. He thinks the market's fucked as well, like he's selling everything. No. They had to sell to avoid liquidation on their Aave USDC loan. Like, think about, like, this is how crazy this market is right now. You've got forced liquidations, which for once, they're still bad, by the way, but for once weren't horrendous. So bear in mind, think about how big this dip is, 13%, right? Think about what that looked like on October 10th, where we got something similar, but it wasn't 13%, and we got like $1 billion worth of liquidations. Well, finally, people were starting to get into a world where it wasn't that bad. The problem I've got is we ended up with $2 billion worth of liquidations. What the fuck? $2 billion worth of liquidations. And what you have here is insane liquidations that are coming in. So this is just a free fall right now of just all sorts of problems. And the fact that you've got the Trump family having to sell some Bitcoin to avoid liquidation tells you that even the lending platforms are unwinding, right? Next thing you're going to hear, which cryptocurrency exchange is insolvent, is Binance going to go under, Mexi's about to collapse, XT.com's all finished. Like, you're going to see loads of this, right? Typical bear market sort of ideas. But again, this is kind of interesting, the fact that you're seeing this significant selling coming in with the Trump family as well, right? That's not all. It gets worse. Bitcoin selling pressure is concentrated on Coinbase. Past 6 hours, more than 19,000 Bitcoin has been sold and traded on Coinbase. This is unprecedented, right? We've never seen this before. It's insane, right? It's just not so much of an alt season. 80p XRP, baby. Betamax, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Stardog says VHF, swimming in it, mate. Marx has bought 2,000 XRP at 92p. Yeah. Exactly, Beebs. We were 2 weeks out. I can't believe it. I'm still in the green. I haven't bought any crypto for 2.5 years. I'm just chilling. Tomato Pete's probably not a bad shout. Tubi, would you stick to our plan and be patient? Don't rush it. Yeah. I mean, my opinion, well, my view is I sold some XRP this morning, not because I thought the market was going to dump, but I sold it because it was on Coinbase. So I sold I'd sold some XRP today. You guys know that I went into stablecoin, at least 50% of my portfolio at 108. So I'm kind of happy where that sits. And now, again, I'm waiting. Am I annoyed the market's done what it is? Of course I am. But you can either be in a world where you whinge about it and you can kind of allow emotion to dominate your your view, or you kind of go, right, do you know what? Let's just see where we can start to position ourselves for the next move. I tell you what I'm more annoyed about. I'm more annoyed about the fact that I probably missed the biggest short trade of my entire life by $116. That's what I'm more annoyed about. That would have been a literal insane trade, if I'm honest, because that would have been the top versus the bottom. Now, the other thing we'll take a look at, which I think is important to think about, is Microstrategy released their earnings report today, which we'll take a look at, because everyone's freaking out about the fact that strategy is going to go bust and they're going to have to sell $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, all this kind of crazy stuff. But Amazon dropping 11% or higher than expected 2026 CapEx forecast. See, people thought we were crazy. Look at this. 222 down 10%. Why? The company sees 2026 capital expenditure at $200 billion higher than estimated, right? What? Where is Amazon spending all their capex? In AI data centers. Like, this is the AI bubble is about to go boom. If it hasn't already, by the way. If it hasn't already, you know, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But yeah, Amazon, everything is linked back to AI, whether we like it or not. So worth thinking about. I'm really pissy because although I sold all my profits, I've already invested my profits and now I'm initially seeing my profits dwindle. Yeah, I get that, Craig. I made $400 from a $30 short in yesterday and today. Nice, Stardog. Mine was a 7.5K margin at 14x leverage. So that took me to like what? Nearly 100K short. And I was literally at like 60. No, I think it was like 7. What was the daily open today? I can't remember what it was. What was the daily open today? It was like, like 70 something. It would have been literally the most insane trade in the world. It would have been like a 20 or 30K trade, I reckon, if I'm honest. But hey, these are the things. So Coinbase Premium Index we talked about. Right. What else? Here you get some more bad news, okay? Antpool data showing several top ASIC miners have reached shutdown prices, some close to break even. Even mining Bitcoin is not profitable anymore. It's like, it's all going wrong. It's all going wrong, which is kind of wild in fairness. The fact that you've got certain ant miners that are now in negative. By the way, just a number to reference, 58,600 is the average cost for electricity on some of these miners. But again, it's this cascade. It's this kind of whole disaster of stuff. Which is kind of going to happen. This is the black swan that they speak of before huge pumps. I mean, maybe. The problem is it's not a black swan that's directly related to the crypto market. It's related to AI. That's the problem. And this overhyped AI market that's now starting to come back and bite us in the ass. Bought a shitload of XRP in 24 for 30 cents. Sold at 320. Buying again now at 80p. Nice, bro. That's the way to do it. Here comes the major dump. Joe, it's already here. It's already here, bro. 59K BTC coming, maybe. Tom Lee's a second job as a lap dancer. Yeah, do you see it? He's like $9 billion in the hole now. I mean, imagine that. Like, he's like, Tom, yeah, Tom. Tom, you know we lent you $20 billion to go and buy Ethereum. Yeah, how's that working out? And you'd be like, Anyway, right. There you go. Look, US economy is crashing. Every market is now not happening. It's not a crypto problem. This is what we said. So markets sold off together as crypto gold and stocks fell in a forced deleveraging, more driven by liquidity stress. I mean, this is the crazy bit, isn't it? Who the hell's been talking about the fact there's no liquidity in the market for literally the last about 6 months? Me. All right, when everyone's going, I mean, I'm not going to call this individual out, by the way, but someone literally was like, oh, bull market's still on, baby. I mean, I still think he's a legend, but it's wild. It was wild. Fed actions failed to calm investors because halting QT and buying T-bills support financial plumbing, not risk assets and borrowing costs. So even the fact that, you know, the US Treasuries has been buying back, they've been trying to issue more debt, then, you know, it's bad news. And like we said yesterday, the US labor market is fucking screwed. So there's real concerns in the labor market as well, showing slowing growth and still tight financial conditions. Kevin Walsh, I mean, I don't even know how he kind of comes in, but I think you've got this market that's pricing in him not doing very well in an incredibly stressful narrative. But yeah, Bitcoin-led loss in risk assets. Gold, silver posted their steepest weekly drops in months. The usual correlation signals forced de-risking across portfolios, not a shift in investor preference, which was always what we thought might come in as gold and silver sell off and people look to kind of, you know, just go into a safer haven. We're not seeing it. And the fact that you're seeing the US Treasuries market or the bond market still sit pretty tight, even the 30-year bonds have absolutely dumped, tells me that people have gone into cash big time. I mean, you even got a slightly depegging on USDT, which is pretty wild as well when you think about it. But, you know, look at this. Stablecoin absolutely skyrocketing, as you would expect, as everyone repositions themselves in stablecoin to see. But I think people went a lot into cash, actually. Just in my opinion, by the way. Toby, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Told you Bitcoin under 50K. XRP will bounce at 56 cents. Epstein created Bitcoin. Yeah, do you really? I mean, the Epstein Bitcoin thing's interesting. I mean, it would be one of those moments where you're like, wow, that was not on my 2026 bingo card. I got to be honest. As well, we have been expecting the mega shakeout. Maybe this is. I mean, cool cat. I think so. I mean, you can't argue 12.5% decline on BTC and be like, oh, it's kind of fine. It's kind of fine. And then, yeah, look, Bitcoin's drawdown deepens, drops below 65K, which, again, we've talked about. Labor market concerns, financial concerns. Brokerage firms came under pressure during the process. Coinbase shares have lost more than 30% of their value since the beginning of the year. Gemini is now reducing its workforce by 25% and downsizing its operations in the United Kingdom and the European Union and Australia. They're like, we're done. We're absolutely donezo here, which is, again, pretty wild to think about. So let me just bring the overall ETF flows, which I think has kind of been interesting. XRP ETFs absolutely still moving to the upside. My eye is really driving me insane. $626 million negative on the total outflows on ETFs. So, like I said before, institutions, as much as people might think it's them dumping, it really, really isn't. I mean, $500 million yesterday is a chunk of change. I'm not saying it's not, by the way, but yeah, $500 million dumping. How's SoFi doing? We can bring it up. We can have a look. 56K is the button, 2-bit POV. Yeah, you saying that? I mean, I'm down for it. I mean, I still think 30K is possible, but very much I don't believe it's going to get there. SoFi, $19. Give or take a few bits of change, but yeah, 26 billion market cap. Well, $20.74. Pretty flat in terms of where it is right now. Callie, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. We've been expecting this. Yeah, all makes sense in the world. I mean, that's true, Reg. That is true. Maybe that's how it all plays out. I mean, it's definitely a title for a video, isn't it? Epstein dumped the markets. Oh no, come on, bro. But yeah, I mean, double digits are insane. I mean, if you think about it, like 12.5% on Bitcoin is the most insane thing ever. Aishan, where do you think XRP will reverse? Well, let's take a look at XRP. I mean, at the minute, it's absolute in free fall. Now, if you remember, we did give a few ideas where we could see this. So I said about 108. So somewhere around this sort of range. 105 would technically be my low-end support. I think you lose that, you end up in pure, unadulterated Goblin Town. You'd argue probably somewhere up there as well. So if you would to, you want my predictions, there would be my two lines here for XRP, which is one around 112, one around 108. I think you lose 108, you need to strap in because we're probably going to head all the way down to 50, 60 cents, something like that, in my opinion. Someone says, Cool Cat will recover from this one. It will get worse than this, though. It's coming. Well, maybe, yeah. Maybe. Mark from Gateshead. Is that someone's real name? Buyer's market right now. That's true. Ripple is going to 45 cents. Phoenix. Interesting. Yeah, thoughts on XRP. Yeah. All the useless eaters are talking about it in the comments. Massive sell signal. I mean, the whole market's selling off right now. I bet a flash crashes quickly before. I mean, maybe, yeah. I mean, that's definitely possible. Have to admit, a lot of people were talking about this chart and predictions. Maybe it was just denial because all the stuff going that we ignore only ourselves. I mean, look, like we always said, and we've been saying this for a while now, as long as you're not in any sort of, I would even argue Bonk, Pepe, Pumpcoin, I always think, they're going to be okay, I think, longer term. They've got sustainable business models. XRP, are we really saying that the market now, that's it, the 2025 bull market cycle was the top that crypto is ever going to reach? Of course it's not. Come on. It's just one of those where it just feels disappointing. Like I said, I'm less bothered about the fact the market's done what it's done, and I'm more bothered about the fact that I missed probably the most insane short trade of my entire life by $160. That's what I'm annoyed about, because that would have been an absolutely monster trade. But hey, we live and fight to it. Someone said to me the other day, at least you got a house, roof above your head, you got a house, and you got internet. Well, that's fine. Fairground says, tonight I buy the next few days and we'll be going up. That's it. Will XRP ever got zero? No. Panic sell now. Get out while you can. I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, it depends. If you think the market's going to go down, like if you're pricing in a 30K Bitcoin, then yeah, get the hell out of the market. If we're down 70% in spot, we'll recover in the future. It's very dependent on what coin you're in. My view, if you're in Bitcoin, do you think Bitcoin's never going to go above 65K again? Let's say you even bought Bitcoin at the top 126K. Eventually, it'll break 126K. The problem you've got is a lot of people get into this market and the assumption that, hey, I've put in 10 grand, I can walk away with $1 million. I'm annoyed that I didn't get to that point. Like, everyone tells me it's a scam, blah, 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 blah. Like, it'll still be fine. If you're in more risk on newer altcoins, then that might be a problem, but, you know, gotta wait there. I'm buying everything one time, yeah. Don't worry. Yeah, I mean, that's true as well. That's true. Don't worry, it can always go down another 8%. That is true as well. My only bag I'm worried about is SHIB. Has it a long-term plan come to it? Well, yeah, so, I mean, yeah. I mean, you could argue the same for Pepe, maybe. The Isle of Man about to tax residents for the first time. Wow, I did not know that. Have you talked about BTC mining power cost level, which is only... Yeah, 58K. It's about 58,300. That essentially means that that's the cost of mining. And as we just said in a couple of these before, you got loads of miners shutting down because actually they are... it's essentially becoming a negative. Like, they're losing money by mining Bitcoin. That's insane. Think about it. Murray says holding 55K HBAR 2-bit. I mean, I think we talked about HBAR last night. We took a good look at the chart. Yeah, Canton's doing pretty well. Yeah, Canton is doing well, actually. We talked about this last night in the TikTok live. Right down to that 20-day EMA. Remember, if you are a trader, this will be a perfect setup to use how to trade the 20-day EMA. Remember, that's a totally free training course in our Discord that you get by becoming a channel member. $6 a month. Absolutely worth it, by the way, as well as everything else in there. My way of thinking is that if is swap XRP for ETH, then when the market starts to recover, swap back for profit. ETH? Wow. If you could short Bitcoin, I would. Well, I did. Well, I didn't. I tried to and I missed it. My stop loss hit as US markets opened and it rallied up. And I literally rallied $116 above my stop loss number and then dumped into oblivion. Otherwise, I'd have called this. I'd have had a big trade on here. But hey, this is life. Why doesn't Sailor and Tom Lee buy a load of spot? They have been doing. They haven't been able to do anything else. Well, so they released this. Look. So Strategies announced fourth quarter 2025 financial results earlier on today. So it's kind of interesting. 713,000 Bitcoin holders at a total cost of 54.26 or $76,000 a Bitcoin. Like, think about that. I mean, think about poor Michael Saylor. Like, he's well underwater. 22.8% BTC yield achieved in full year 2025. The largest US equity issuer. Yeah, all right, fine. Blah, blah, blah. Digital credit highlights. All right, cool. I don't know if he actually put anything. So here we go. Net loss and net loss attributable to common stock. Net loss for the fourth quarter of 25 was 12.4 billion or 42.93 per common share on a diluted basis as compared to net loss of 670.8 million or $3 per common share on a diluted basis for the fourth quarter of 2024. Holy shit. So they went from 670 million negative to 12.4 billion. I mean, if you're in a world of going, maybe I'll start a Bitcoin treasury company. I mean, you got to be able to absorb. I mean, imagine like you're trying to tell your investors that it's all going to be fine. Literally, you'd be like, it's fine. They'll be like, hold on a minute. I mean, you've literally lost 12 billion year on year. Oh my God. Anyway, so net loss attributed to common stockholders for the fourth quarter of 25 was 12.6 billion compared to net loss of 670. Yeah, we said that. Cash and cash equivalents. This is the important bit. As of December 31st, 2025, the company had cash and cash equivalents of 2.3 billion as compared to 38.1 million as of December the 31st, 2024. An increase of approximately 2.3 billion, reflecting the company's established of its USD reserve in the fourth quarter of 25. So essentially what they're saying is they do have a bit of cash, but they're probably going to buy Bitcoin. I mean, that would be the sensible thing, to buy more. So total revenue was 120. See, this is the problem a little bit with MicroStrategy, which is why I think a lot of people believe it will go to zero and where people are really nervous about it. And probably where he struggles is total revenue for the fourth quarter of 2025 was $123 million. That's it. $123 million worth of net revenue. Subscription services was 51.8 million. Product licenses was 59. Gross profit for the fourth quarter was 81.3 million, representing a 66.1% gross margin compared to 86. So they lost money year on year, representing a gross margin of 71.4 for the fourth quarter of 2024. So, yeah, I mean, this is kind of why people are a bit like, strategy may end up. I mean, I don't think it's ever going to go bust. Like, the value of Bitcoin is in itself is more than the valuation of the company, but It's kind of interesting, actually, when you think about it. So they made a little bit. Sailor called Elon and asked if he could get a one-way ticket to Mars. Yes, on the first trip with Tom Lee. Yeah, interesting. Interesting. So the US reserve of 2.25 billion. So you see, this is a little bit naughty when they do stuff like this. So he's basically saying his USD reserves is what they have as cash. That's a little, because if he went out and just spent 2.25 billion, I think people would be pretty pissed about it. So that's a little bit naughty, Mr. Sailor. Just a little bit naughty. We got nearly 200 people in the live right now. So do me a quick favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Likewise, TikTok holding up as well. If you haven't already tapped the screen and lock in some of those likes, highly recommend doing so, by the way. The market is a disaster. All right, no two ways to talk about it. Bitcoin still in a downtrend and looks awful, with probably one of the biggest sell-offs we've ever seen in the history of BTC. Yeah, pretty wild. Still on a second job as a dancer with Tom Lee. Can you imagine? And it's all down to Oracle, by the way. If you want someone to blame, go and blame Oracle. It's up to a bit when Moon Cheese. Hopefully soon, buddy. Hopefully soon. I mean, it's not going to be soon, is it? But yeah, XCN. We'll take a look at some charts in a minute. Let's just finish off this. And we'll get in. Strategy will be discussing its fourth quarter fiscal results on a video live webinar today, beginning at approximately 5 p.m. Eastern Time. The live video webinar and accompanying presentation materials will be available under the events and presentation section of Strategy Investor. Okay. I mean, I probably don't want to listen into it because it'll probably just be like, well, yeah, it's all bad news. But it's fine. We're going to buy some more Bitcoin. I 100% think they buy Bitcoin this weekend. Okay. So, given that is that. So, Sailor, we know where they are. It's all bad news. Let's take a look then at some coins. Let's get into some things you guys want to talk about. And we'll say XCN. I mean, would I be going into altcoins right now? No. Absolutely not. Where do we have XCN? I thought we had XCN. Do I keep deleting it? I mean, even Hype's down, by the way, but that's one I'm looking at. Oh, there we are, XCN. Down 11%, pretty much erased all of its 2026 gains back to the sort of lower support range here of 2046. So, I mean, potentially, if you're looking to get into this might end up giving you a nice little, a nice little opportunity to buy in. I mean, that's going to be the bottom there around 2004, potentially. The key here would be sort of where you wick down to on this price range, by the way. If you were looking to, laddy away on an XCN, that's where I'd be looking at. Interesting. The great financial reset is upon us, Curtis. A lot of people saying that, by the way. A lot of people saying that. I mean, I'm down for it, by the way. If we come out the other side, it's like, the global population decide that Bitcoin's the way forward and that, altcoins everyone must have, then fine. It's worth going through the pain, but man, don't feel like it at the minute, does it? Did I hear Sailor was crying? That would be pretty wild. That would be pretty wild, wouldn't it? Michael Saylor usually doesn't buy during candles. During crashes, he gets investors to give him money to buy, and then they don't want to buy when things get crashed. I mean, that's true, Serge. I mean, I think he buys this weekend because he's going to have to try and do something to give him some sort of leverage within that. But yeah, could be wild in fairness. Could be wild. I need help. I've bought a lot of XRP. What's your opinion on it? So, Cam, my opinion of XRP is I still hold it. I did sell some this morning, so I'm not going to sit here and say I didn't, but I sold it more to get off Coinbase as opposed to for any reason. I sold at 146, so that was actually a pretty decent sell, to be honest. Can XRP come back? Yes. Is XRP going to Goblin Town at the minute? Yes. It's down 22%, and actually is one of the biggest pushes down that we've seen. I don't really know why. Obviously, the market structure bill's been delayed as well, so I mean, altcoins right now would be a little bit of a nervousness. My only debate would be what did you buy at? If you bought at 340, 350, then that might be a little bit of a longer term pain. And equally, we could still push down the market. I have a firm belief, by the way, and some people call me crazy. Would I sell now? I don't know if I would, because you'd expect some sort of relief bounce from where we are, which is where I've been talking about in terms of BTC. I still think it gets back into this zone that we've been talking about. So yeah, we'll see. DG says, bloody, yeah, really. What relief? Well, there isn't at the minute, but there historically has always been, if you look at every single dump in the market, every single dump, you get a relief on the back of it. Of course you do, because people try and time the bottom. Yeah, this will be the same, by the way. People will be diving into leverage like you won't believe. Don't be surprised if you don't get a massive short squeeze tomorrow and people get absolutely ruined on short leverage. Like, don't be surprised one bit, because what you get here is naive people that then are like, oh, I'm just going to short this market. I mean, look at that, by the way. Look at that. Look at this chart here. Why is it down? Oracle, AI. Look at this. These are showing you leverage positions right now. Look how crazy this leverage position is. So these are all shorts, by the way. The way to look at this chart is slightly different. You think this is leverage going up, but these are people that are shorting the market. What's even more insane is The orange is high leverage. That's 100x leverage or more is in the orange. Look how crazy that is. No one's long in this market right now. No one cares about it. Even if the market, it's just like no one cares at all. But look how big some of these leverages are. I mean, it's insane. Like, absolutely crazy. The market does need liquidity. Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah. So this is the point here that, you could get a relief rally tomorrow. Oh my God, that was really close again. You could definitely get a relief rally which liquidates loads of shorts. Like 100% you could get that tomorrow for sure. Does it mean we're going to? No, of course it doesn't. I mean, I still think the AI thing's a problem. We just looked at Oracle's balance sheet. Like, they're in the shit. AMD are not much better as well. So you're going to need someone like NVIDIA to come and bail out the AI market. And NVIDIA are not going to do that. They just cancelled $100 billion to OpenAI. Think about it. NVIDIA delays next-gen RTX 60 series to 2028. I mean, they're denying it, but I mean, that's bad news, isn't it? Like, they're big money making. It's not coming. They're still waiting for this. And this, by the way, is one of the biggest problems here. Look, NVIDIA warns Trump's China chip export rules are too strict. They're still waiting for a license to try and sell these bloody chips. The H200 chip, released in 2024, is less advanced than NVIDIA's newer Blackwell and Rubin chips. Trump administration approved exports of the H200 to maintain US competitiveness in the Chinese market. Problem is, the Chinese market went, we're not asked now. It's fine. Keep your chips. We're not bothered. So NVIDIA can't, create money. Like, it's just I mean, the AI bubble's a problem right now. Kevin Sexton says, sell everything. Yeah. Redikin says, why BTC down? Can you answer? Well, AI, leverage, market structure bill delayed. What else? Massive selling from short-term holders. Like, we looked at short-term holders, and it's just, like, they're just dumping everything, by the way. Being bullish in a bear market is far more immoral than FUDing. Definitely agree with what was that for? DG feeling, can it always, yeah. Why on earth would anyone sell? This is an amazing buying opportunity. I mean, that's true. That's true. Again, though, you just got to be mindful of this. Is it sensible when you have literally one of the worst selling days ever in the history of Bitcoin to then start aping into it? Probably not. And that's my view, is like, let's wait and see what happens. There is no rush right now. This is not going to dump all the way down to 63, 62, 60K. And then within a week, it's like, oh, we're back at 85K. Like, this is not going to happen. Got some link at 790. Nice. So I do think we go lower. And again, I'm sat on some stablecoin ready to come back into the market when I need to. I'm still holding on to some bags. I'm still probably holding on to stuff I shouldn't do, but look, it's life, innit? It's life. Yeah, and TJ, probably in a world where some of them, Solana is an example, albeit I don't particularly want DCA because we were buying that super, super cheap, but any that you've sort of bought higher price. I mean, Sui was one I was talking about yesterday. Like, I'm looking to get into Sui. It's on its way down to that lower range that we said, 86.14. That's kind of where I've got a price target set for Sui. At the minute, do I think it goes below that? Possibly. I mean, it can go much lower than that, but yeah, I mean, could it come down to 73 cents? Maybe. Maybe this is kind of, these are the things. For me, this is about how do you plan your strategy to then make sure that you get it. But yeah. Sui could definitely come down. Join us. Oh, Michael says, tweet, join us for an update on MSTR financial results. I might listen in. But yeah, it's just all bad news here, isn't it? Like, all freaking bad news. And you, when you start to kind of price in some of this crazy talk here. Bye-bye Microstrategy. I mean, yeah. I mean, they own the Bitcoin, so I don't see how it can go bust. As long as they own the Bitcoin. Now, let's put our tinfoil hats on and say, let's say something comes out and Saylor doesn't actually own the Bitcoin. It's not actually verifiable on chain, and that it's all been like you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. And let's be clear, by the way, if strategy goes bust or defaults, like, I think you could see like 2017 Bitcoin levels. You could definitely see a 20K Bitcoin at that point. Definitely see 20K Bitcoin. The problem is, it won't stay there for long because people would buy the living crap out of it. But yeah, I mean, if strategy does anything and defaults, bear in mind, I don't believe that there is a verifiable blockchain where that money is. And someone might correct me, by the way, and I feel free to do so. But I know if Vitalik Ethereum, yeah, I mean, Vitalik sold $6 million worth of Ethereum this week. Can he get liquid? I don't think so, Cheese, because the only way he could get liquidated was if he was leveraged against the Bitcoin price. If he just holds the asset, all that happens is a little bit like Tom Lee, isn't it? If they hold the asset, they've just got depreciated value. The problem that they would have, I think, it wouldn't necessarily be liquidating of, it wouldn't be liquidating of them because of Bitcoin. It would be liquidating like any other company. Because if you've got an asset that has lost a significant amount of money, then people might not invest in it. If people don't invest in it and don't invest in the company, then it potentially doesn't make any revenue. Now, that's why Tom Lee talks about the fact that, like with Bitmine, they have $400 million worth of cash, an absolutely rock-tight bank balance sheet. So they're kind of all right. But essentially, I don't think you can default based on the fact that they hold Bitcoin. That doesn't make any sense. They can default as a company if they can't meet their debt requirements. But do you remember we looked at this before? I think in some of their purchase agreements, they can basically change how they pay out dividends, like how they pay out yield rewards on Bitcoin. And I feel like I saw something about that the other day. I feel like something was said and they basically went, yeah, we're going to slightly change how we pay out. Let me have a look. I'm sure I saw something about this. I'm sure I did. I don't know when it would be though. Volatility, rules of Bitcoin, 100% distribute. I can't remember I'd seen it. Maybe it's not there, but I'm sure there's something in their paperwork that says that they can change how they pay out the distribution for yield. I'm sure there is, which would make sense, by the way, because if let's say you agree that you're going to do 5% yield on your investment, and then you get something like this, and 5% ends up being, think about it, their net revenue, gross profit was $113 million. Well, let's say their net yield payments was like $1 billion. Well, then they default on it, don't they? That's how I think they can go bust. Do I think they go bust? Probably not. I think, I'd be surprised. And I think as well, by the way, don't forget, you'd have so much that would be hinged to this. You would also have people that would they'd want to invest it, wouldn't you? Like, Coinbase wouldn't want to see Microstrategy go bust because, Binance, loads of these big exchanges would not want to see Coinbase go bust. If they see him go bust, then, it's all bad news for everybody, isn't it? Saeed, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. How are the retirement accounts doing with the ETFs? I mean, they're doing okay. I've been saying 0.64 for 6 months now, but nobody will listen. Carlos, what's your opinion on what Crypto Banter was saying the other day about how the OGs are abandoning crypto now that the vision and dream is over and it's gone, government and corporate? Look, it's always going to happen. But all I would say is it's a rotation, and that you'll get other OGs that'll come in. The difference here is, though, compared to the banking sector, is that you could end up with companies being wiped out. You could never do that in the banking sector. So, just my opinion. My last message stated Sailor doesn't have to pay as his leverage is contracted to the end of 2027. Fair enough. What happens when the Middle East starts tomorrow? What, dumping? I mean, like, we can go lower. We could definitely go lower. Miles, what's going on, buddy? I'm buying the dip. Soon, thoughts on more XRP and grab some Sui. Yeah, Sui's definitely one on my shopping list right now. Definitely. See you later, Fairground. Good to see you, man, as always. Appreciate you being here. We told her about this sell-off. Yeah, exactly. We did literally talk about it yesterday. Has anyone checked on Wadi, by the way? Hey, man, how long have you been working with crypto, and have you had much? So I've been in since 2017, right? So have I had much luck? It depends how you define luck. I'm still here. I don't drive a Lambo. So, I mean, you could say that I haven't had much luck, but at the same time, it depends what your strategy is. So 2017, I got scammed for everything I'd invested in, over leveraged, credit cards, all that kind of crazy shit. Had some, came back in 2021, did pretty well. Not super crazy, but did all right. Where am I probably now? 2025, 26. Okay. My main focus is how I just do this full time rather than do a full 9-to-5 job. But yeah, we've had some pretty decent successes, in my opinion. Do you see a price point do you see a price point that you would empty your savings? As in my stablecoin, FYI, by the way, I am a full-on crypto maxi. I don't have bank accounts that have like savings in. I don't have a traditional savings account. I have a pension that my missus looks after, and like a bank account. That's it, though. I don't have savings. I don't have ISAs. I don't have any of that nonsense. I have it all tied into the crypto market. Ahoy, matey. Stand by your beds. It's going on Fairground. It's weird. Fairground just jumped for one. So yeah. Have we had some luck? Yeah. Have we had some good trades? Yeah. I'm annoyed about today's trade, though. I missed out probably the best short trade ever. And I was in the freaking trade as well. I was in the trade. Bro, got stopped out for $116 shy. Otherwise, it would have printed probably 5, maybe even 6 figures. It would have been insane. Anyway, Yes, Nick, I'm so tired of winning right now. 2-bit. Oh, I said that, didn't I? The market is in the midst of a full-on tech wipeout as investors weigh whether some software stock is... Yeah, I mean, that's true. The AI bubble, we've been saying this for a while. The AI bubble is way, way bigger than I think a lot of people predicted. And this is part of the problem. I guess what you're seeing. The fact that the entire market is dumping is a small bit of consolidation, I guess. Not much. Not much. Okay, drop your questions in, by the way, if you want to take a look at any coins, any charts, any DeFi stuff, let me know as well. While he's looking for Vern. Oh, dear me. So the important thing right now, by the way, you either make the decision to sell and get out, or you either wait the decision to sit on what you've got. And then when you're looking at re-entering the market, you want to see some element of structure. Remember, we talked about what does a bottom look like when it comes to this particular market. You're looking for elements of consolidation, max fear. I still think you need a banking crisis, by the way. People think I'm crazy, but I still think some banks are going to go insolvent. Silver down 20%. Yeah, TJ. And don't forget, by the way, the banks have been buying a shit ton of gold. They aren't buying as much anymore, but I still think there's like a banking crisis that happens. I still think a bank goes somewhere insolvent, definitely. I mean, silver, 20% down. Futures, I mean, do we even want to look at the futures market for tomorrow? I don't know if we do. It's probably not going to be great. Let's have a look. Trump announces we're going to war with Iran next week. Then we're going to see that. Yeah, I mean, potentially said, yeah. I mean, I don't think he does at the minute. I think it would have happened. So, just to give you some idea, by the way, I mean, like I said, I don't think this is probably a good idea for all of our sanity, by the way, but hey, we'll do it anyway. So the Dow potentially going to open up 700 points down. The S&P 116, the NASDAQ and the Russell both going to sell off. In terms of Asia, they actually look okay with the Hong Kong Stock Exchange at 0.14. You've got Shanghai negative 6.64 and STI about 0.21. So, you know, it's definitely a turmoil market out there. VIX index on the S&P looks like it's going to be absolutely wild. Commodities are going to sell off pretty aggressively as well. So I think if I was to call it, it's just going to be another painful day tomorrow. You're going to see some more selling, which then is, you know, you get to a narrative of like, well, why buy anything at the minute? You might as well sit tight and see what happens. Sit tight and see what happens. We might have to adjust this, maybe. We'll see. Paul Barron said banks are going under unless they invest in crypto. I mean, that's also potentially true. I mean, it depends. If they'd have invested in crypto 125K, they would have already gone over. They'd gone under in some instances right now. Sorry, my TikTok live just said if you don't do this, then we're gonna shut you down, bro. I'm going to shut you down. All right. By the way, if you haven't hit the follow button, then do make sure you do hit that, which would be great. Just in, BlackRock spot Bitcoin ETF records $10 billion in trading volume. Holy crap. Did they buy the dip or were they selling? That's the big question. Sit tight. Got it. Well, look, you got to make your own strategy. But, I mean, my view right now is you don't want to panic into anything. So, I mean, BlackRock itself are not really... I mean, they sold a bit this morning, but it's not super crazy. Super crazy. 100 million, you know, they bought a little bit here. I mean, well, it's $14 actually. It's not a lot. Crazy numbers, is it? So BlackRock did sell off quite a chunk. In fairness. Ekabella, what's going on? Good to see you. Welcome in as always. It all has to burn for the Phoenix to rise, I hope. Not selling, sitting tight. I mean, yeah. I mean, look, again, you got to do the right strategy for you. Like I said, I sold some XRP this morning just to get off Coinbase, really. So on the buying side, should we wait? I mean, look, Bitcoin's struggling right now to even hold on to 63K. So, you know, we could see BTC drop even further yet. We could definitely see this come down even further, in my opinion. In my opinion, yeah. I mean, that's where I'm pricing in potential fibs. I mean, 57,798 would be a pretty aggressive 382 Fibonacci retracement. So yeah, just heads up that after you have some small banks in the United States that have gone insolvent already, make me, yeah. I mean, was it soft Citibank or something? That again, there are banks that are invested in AI. They're the problems that we've got right now. AI, man, it's taking over the world. It's dumping the markets. XRP ETFs on trading volume. Let's take a look. I don't actually know, to be honest. I haven't looked at it. Let's have a look. $79.2 million. Wow. 772 in locked. So yeah, people bought into the XRP narrative. Bitwise stacking. BlackRock can buy at any time. That's true. That's true. And remember, it's the customers of BlackRock that we're bothered about. But you sold your XRP just to get off Coinbase? Yes, Nathaniel. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Yeah, it was all I had left on Coinbase. So I had like, I don't even know what it was, like a couple of grand or something on Coinbase. And I thought, right, I'm done with Coinbase. I want out. So I just sold the XRP and put it into cash, and I'll just take that cash out. And then I'm totally off Coinbase. So yeah, totally off Coinbase. The most, and don't get me wrong, by the way, Coinbase has its uses and all the rest of it, but the fact that you had to tell them like what wallets were going to see, you had to confirm the wallets was good. I'm just like, nah, bro, this is not for me. So yeah, I'm pretty much all in DeFi with the exception of a little bit now that's sitting on like Bitunix and a little bit on Mexi as well. But so by the way, don't know if you guys remember, we actually have a brand new deal with Bitunix. Absolutely fantastic platform where I've been doing my trading. Again, the reason I got stopped out US market, you don't see these crazy pumps and these crazy dumps. Bitunix has it all. And 50% rebate bonus when you sign up and trade once. Absolutely freaking crazy. No one else is offering you this, by the way. Deposit $1,000, trade once, you get $500 back. What? You're kidding me right now, as well as some insane trade bonuses running all the way to January 31st. So definitely check that out, by the way. Not financial advice. Again, if you're looking to buy crypto, trade crypto, Bitunix, in my opinion, is a good place. Also, their newbie bootcamp, which I asked them to keep up. You complete a few simple tasks, you can potentially earn another $500 as well. So check out Bitunix. Link is in the description. Check it out. It's highly worthwhile, by the way. It's a great platform. They offer VIP bonuses, all sorts of great stuff. You get all those links, by the way, in our totally free Discord as well. But don't forget, if you are interested in getting a little bit more, by the way, then check our totally free Discord. I'm going to show this. All right, so come here. Come here, TikTok. You can see it. You can see it here. So let's just show you guys what's going on here. This is the Discord that you get. If you're interested, this is the full analysis. This is what you get if you're a premium member, by the way. You get all the latest charts. You get alpha calls as well for any coins that's coming up. Also, I post my trade signals in there. Mark Noby crushing it there on Dupe. Bullish. Bullish. Again, we post things in there. This was one that we talked about here for yesterday, which perfectly played out exactly. And actually, if you'd have taken this trade on right now, you would have been short in the market from, what was it at? 75,000 on a short trade. Again, markets that week with ADP jobs data. So you get all this. And like I said, you also get our bots that you can literally do TA on anything. So you can come in here, you say, hey, TA, give me some TA on XRP. You press enter. It goes away. And it's going to go boom, comes back. You can see here, look, RSI oversold, MF oversold, CC, which is oversold as well. Bollinger Bands near low band, again, telling you that potentially upside's coming. The SMA 50 price below simple moving average. MACD has got a bearish crossover. The ADX signal is a very strong bearish trend. Parabolic SAR bearish. You're like, holy shit. Why am I going to buy anything in here? And bear in mind, by the way, you get all that for $6 a month. Like, what? What? People are charging you like $100 for that. Just FYI, by the way. So, yeah, don't miss out on it. Highly recommend it. $6. And you get a cool little icon next to your name here on YouTube as well. So all the people in green with cool little coins next to them. The official 2-bit coins, by the way. I actually might make them into like real ones. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? That if you become a channel member and maybe we do that for like... maybe we open a new like one and it's like, oh, you know, it's like $10 a month, but you actually get the cool coin every time you go through. Imagine that, like a YouTube plaque. I got off Coinbase before January. Nice, yeah, it's a good shout. I literally had like a couple of grand left on there, and I was like, yeah. Breaking news: Tom Lee is missing. Can you imagine if Tom Lee goes missing? We're going to zero. It's not Do Kwon and CZ on a boat. It's Michael Saylor and Tom Lee. Under 8 on Chainlink. That's wild. That is wild, by the way. What's Pantera Capital saying? Let's have a listen to this. Let's listen to Pantera Capital. All right, bear with me. I need to just click on a few buttons here to bring this up. Okay, it's the... Where's the volume? Where's the volume, Pantera Capital? Oh, what? I can't hear it. Why can't I hear Pantera Capital telling me that the market's going to zero? All right. I can't hear Pantera Capital. Why can't I hear that? It's wild. Oh, is it because I've got these on? Oh, maybe it's because I've got these on. Hold on a minute. Hold on a freaking minute. Yeah, I bet it's because of that. Right, let's listen to Pantera Capital, by the way. Let me take that off. Hopefully this isn't too loud, by the way. It might be.
When things are down.
Oh my God, why can't I hear it? What's going on?
Thrown again.
Oh, there he is. Right. Jesus, that took way longer than it should have done. Right, Pantera Capital. Let's listen in. Let's see what he's got. 37 clips.
When things are down, sort of all the bear cases are thrown against the wall. And it's very easy to forget the bigger picture, which is that clearly, yes, prices are down. But at the same time, fundamental adoption has been increasing, and the industry has been proving this out. Eventually, as I say, price does follow fundamentals, and that's the opportunity. Right now, people aren't seeing that, but every day we hear of new financial companies getting into digital assets, whether that's JP Morgan launching their tokenized deposit, whether that's Robinhood doing tokenized stocks, whether that's Western Union doing stablecoin payments.
Right.
And so we're pretty excited about the longer term view, but undoubtedly people are a little scared right now. When things are down, sort of all the...
There you go. Look, you see, it's fine. Don't be scared. Pantera Capital are telling us don't be scared. It's fine. Still only are wearing their swim trunks and flippy floppies. I'm on a boat. Yeah. What is happening in crypto? October 10th, crypto markets are now down 50%, erasing $2.2 trillion worth of market cap. Bitcoin has officially erased all of its post-election rally. Bring back Gary Gensler and Joe Biden would be fine. Anyway, why is it crashing? Let's explain. Here we go. Should we go through this? This might be quite interesting. At 8 a.m. Eastern today, Bitcoin has officially erased its post-election rally. Yet, over the last 60 days, the fundamental picture for crypto is acting vastly unchanged. This is why many investors are confused. Why is crypto crashing and the fundamental picture is unchanged? The answer to this question requires going back to October 10th. See, we always said October 10th was broke the market. We said that last night when DG and I and Waddy and Starks and Verm were talking. By the way, catch us on TikTok on our second live stream every Wednesday. The most recent TOP in crypto, or the most recent top in crypto came October 6th, just 4 days before the $19.5 billion record liquidation. Something structurally appears to have shifted on October 10th. Between November 15th, Jan 15th, Bitcoin was entirely range-bound. However, we would see brief periods of liquidations with gaps in both directions. Yet another sign of the structural collapse in crypto. Finally, the range broke to the downside Jan 16th. Blah, 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 blah. Results in massive virtuous cycle shifting from liquidations to sentiment deterioration and back. Further evidence of this being a structural decline is a spread of selling pressure in the other asset classes. Even more. So the question becomes, when will crypto bottom? The answer to this question is when structural liquidity is restored. Structural liquidity is... this will be a combination of both capitulation in price and leverage, as well as maximum bearish sentiment. We've seen to be somewhere near that point. So I mean, people calling the bottom, maybe. MB23, what's going on, buddy? Saying, how on earth can XRP be 25% down in 24 hours? Yeah, it's not a good day, Jim Bob. It's definitely not a good day. I'll DC Gatey all the way down. Nice. We're not scared. We're laugh buying. That's it. GG's, everybody. GG's. Tommy knows who caused 1010 crash, but won't tell who it was. What I'm up it. Really? Is that true? Kramer said BTC won't go lower than 69k. We're going to zero, everybody. Strap in. Yeah, wild. Wild. Which is fine. Strategy sinking stock tests the policy of don't ever sell your Bitcoin. I mean, it's probably a fair trade, by the way. I know people are requesting to come up on TikTok. We don't take guests because I'm live streaming on YouTube at the same time as well. So Wednesday, though, we do take guests on our Wednesday show. So tune in for that. I got to get back to charting when market turns over. I mean, that's true, Joe. We got to see what happens. I mean, like I said, downside feels like it's very much locked in. Feels like we're definitely going to see further moves down as well, which is just all enormously painful. But hey, it is what it is. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Holmes caused the crash. That's why he's gone missing. I mean, that's also true. Potentially. At least Jim Crim is consistently wrong. That's true. Invert your chart and look at it. Bullish. Everything's fine. Well, I mean, think of something like we said at the start of the stream, though. Think of some of these prices that you can die. 116 on XRP, $78 on Solana, ETH at 1838 is, I mean, it's insane. Zebek, if you believe fundamentally this can come back. I mean, it's broke every support level that I put on here. Lower support now sits at 2014. I mean, if we lose that, then Goblin Town. Oops, did not mean to do that. There you go. So maybe we lose that one as well. I don't know. Part of me thinks it's a classic last major dip before the soars, and some people are going to make a lot of money. I mean, that's Stanton, maybe. I think there's a fundamental shift. That's the only problem you've got here. 100K tomorrow, maybe. The only problem you've got here is that there is a definite fundamental breakdown in what's going on in the markets. Like, this is not normal. Doesn't mean it can't get any worse, though, as well, by the way. Think about that. Think about that. Jacob says, it ain't gonna soar. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm buying the dip. Josh is getting in. Shout out to you, Josh. Shout out to you. Canton's holding up all right, in fairness. As coins go in, you know, one of the top 5 worst moments in the crypto history, like, yeah, Canton's looking all right. If it holds a 20-day EMA, you're probably all right, but we'll see. Can it go up as fast? Yeah, 100%. Yeah, of course it can. Yeah, the problem is, it takes way more capital to push it higher than it does to bring it down. Because think about it. If you're a short-term holder, exactly as we looked, by the way, remember, we were looking at this. So let me show you. This. I think this chart's really interesting. So these are short-term holder sell-offs, right? Going all the way back to 2012. Well, let's put in some bull market cycles, all right? So 2021, what do we get? Well, you got a similar sort of story. So here's 2021. Look, February 21, massive sell-off here in short-term holders. Again, you see exactly the same. Back here, look, 2016, prior to the bull market cycle. This is the difference, though, between retail and institutions, right? So, you know, you think about all these people that are selling right now, they're not instantly going to flip back into the market. That's the problem. Dumping's easy because people just go, can screw it, I'm just going to sell everything and get out. And they almost, let me see if I can bring this chart up as well, because this is, and then we probably have to call it, what time is it now? Oh my God, it's 10 past. Let me bring this chart up. It's crypto. Let me see if I can find this. I want to see, just to let everyone know, AVAX at the price. I mean, AVAX is like been a disaster for ages, but yeah. So I want to see if I can see unrealized loss. Let me just see if I can find this. I'm trying to find a specific chart that I'm looking for. The other thing that we haven't looked at, which is probably worth noting really quickly, it's a sale at unrealized loss. Current unrealized losses. Okay, it's not what I want. I was curious. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I thought it was on. Yeah. So I mean, this kind of explains it. Unrealized loss is 22%. So essentially, what you've got here is that so much of the market is underwater. That's why you're seeing short-term sellers dump everything, by the way, and because they don't care, which then is a self-fulfilling prophecy that makes things worse. So that's the problem. Right. So, I mean, this was the other thing we've been looking at, by the way. Overnight repo debt. This was obviously this was Monday, 10.4 billion. So it's kind of been sitting all right, really. So, you know, the banks at the moment aren't in deep stress, but yeah, it is what it is, I guess. Oh, was that? There's a green coin. No, it's the DXY. Shit. I mean, Meta's up, by the way. Just FYI, if you were invested in Meta, then yeah, shout out to you guys. Shout out to you guys. Andy Smith says, is it time to buy? I don't think so yet. Do you think this is because... No, I don't. I think that's nonsense. I know people think it's that Epstein made Bitcoin, but nah. I don't believe that narrative so far. Cardano, goodbye. I'd be less tempted by Cardano right now. As much as I was like, hey, I think Cardano's going to be fine. Yeah, structurally, Cardano looks terrible, by the way. I mean, it's down to like 2023 lows right now at 24 cents. I'd be very cautious with Cardano. Remember, the chain is a ghost. There's nothing over there. Like, it's a disaster. Good news with the Crash Exchange offering massive incentives like Bitunix, free money. Exactly, Lammy. There you go. Check out the link to Bitunix in the description, in the Discord. Get over there. It's worth it. Is the dip following the line drawn? Is the dip? If the dip is following the line, draw a line on the 100K. Yeah, just be like, here it goes. I mean, it's not following. I mean, this is just insane. It's not following any line. Like, yeah, I mean, in theory, you've just broke every downtrending line right now. Maybe you could get there on like the monthlies, perhaps. Maybe. But yeah, I mean, it is a doomer. It's a doomer, everybody. Still reported 12.6 billion Q4 loss just now coming. Yeah, we just looked at it behavior. Yeah, they made 113 million profit from their main company, but yeah, the unrealized loss is a disaster. Michael Burry guessed on Bitcoin earlier, 35 to 25k. I mean, maybe. I mean, it's definitely possible. I mean, I find it difficult to believe that we do another 30k off the price of BTC right now. It's weird that even the ISM indicator is over 50% every time that has happened. Crypto rallies. True. And again, we could be in a very shorter bear market versus a longer one. Like, you know, we could end up coming out of 2026 and rallying. Who the hell knows? Like, at the minute, it's a pretty wild ride, in my opinion. So anyway, such is life. Such as life. Right, everybody. What time are we on now? 10:15. That probably does make it about... Oh, that's the wrong one. There you go. That probably makes it about time for me to quit. It's a crazy day. It's a crazy day. Don't forget, by the way, if you haven't already hit the like button, do so. We're at 95 likes on the stream, by the way. It'd be great to break 100. Also, if you're brand new, hit that subscribe button. If we are going into a pretty rough bear market, you're going to want someone to come and talk to, and that's going to be me. I live stream 6 days a week, as well as putting content out every single day, trying to keep you dialed into this market, and certainly trying to make it happen. So hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll obviously be back tomorrow night, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. UK time. I'll have some content coming out for you guys as well in the morning. So where would I be at right now? And what thoughts would I leave you with? Jerry's final thought, I guess, in some respects, would be there is no rush to buy back into this market. At the minute, we are seeing events unfold that we've never seen before in the crypto market. It is unprecedented territory. And don't always believe what you're being fed by the main narrative, because 9 times out of 10, sometimes it's not right. Let me give you an example of what I mean. Tomorrow you're going to see the headlines. Crypto crashes, leverage to death. Everyone's losing money. It's going to be this big thing. The Democrats and the whole people in the Senate are going to jump on this against, you know, the Trump administration, Scott Bessent, all that kind of stuff, right? It's going to get way more painful. But when it gets painful, remember this, right? Remember, when it gets the, you know, when it's the most painful it can get, then often they're the times that you should be making your moves. And as Warren Buffett said, be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. Right, don't miss tomorrow night's live stream. It's going to be epic as always. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hit the like and subscribe button, and I, as always, will catch you guys tomorrow. See ya.